we were going to talk about the winter outlook today on Sunrise Extra, but as we get started here, I'm letting them know, Brenda and Nina, that we got one of those Peloton bikes over the weekend.
Oh, you did?
And I wanted my first ride to be in boxer shorts only. Like, I thought, I can't do that at a gym. I wanted to go no shirt and nothing but boxer shorts, and my wife shut that idea down awfully quick.
And then Nina goes, gross! Yeah. But she was talking about just sitting on the, the seat in that state. I thought she was taking a shot at Drew.
Material there.
No, I think there was a little bit of a shot at me.
Bikes are expensive, right? Would you say thumbs up or thumbs down? Are you happy with the product so far?
I'm not going to talk about how expensive it is because I'm looking at it this way. $61 a month.
Yeah.
Now I'm paying that for the next 95 years. No, it's not that long. It's about 3 years. 3 years at $61 a month.
They're a couple grand,
but we're getting no more gym memberships. Gym memberships gone. Peloton in.
And you're happy with the bike so far?
Oh, you've had it 48 hours, right?
And it hasn't broke? Okay.
It has not broke. Right. Everyone's ridden it. Everyone likes it so far.
All right.
And they've been clothed. So
people are raving
got
about
that out of the way.
People are raving though, Rod. Raving about your winter.
When you
Drew,
leave, Nina?
Can you turn around? Can we get a full look at you, Drew? Do you look better this morning? You look more toned.
Yeah, well, you be the judge of that. I mean, I'm going to say yes, but you be the judge, Rod.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I think you're trying to take the heat off of you right now. Now we're going to put it back on you.
On me. Okay.
We're talking about your
the headline, if you clicked on this video, we apologize. The headline is wet winter ? Snow ? That is what the people want to know, Rod, and they have been chiming in on your winter outlook. You always work, for several weeks on this. This is the long range forecast.
Yeah.
So talk about La Nina and what it kind of typically means for us in the Northwest.
Sure. And out of the gate, I've been doing this for 20 years now, and I've really only completely muffed a couple or a few of them, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Last year was one of those. I really thought we had a great chance to get snow. As we all know, the only snow we got was that little dab that we had mid-March.
I wasn't mad about it.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you. So this year it is a La Nina. Last year was kind of neutral, borderline weak El Nino. This year is moderate La Nina. And that typically puts the active jet stream right into the Pacific Northwest. So that raises the chances that we're going to be active with good rain. And not necessarily does it mean good snow, but it certainly almost always means good rainfall. Cold air coming out of Canada and dropping down in Montana and the Dakotas. And interestingly, that is happening right now, and that is the batch of air that feeds down into Denver that we're actually feeding off of that's given us the record low temperatures in spots we've had this morning. So my number one headline, my highest confidence call, I'm saying no chance of a dry winter. Last year we had a water season that was about 8 inches below normal. So if we're wet this year, you would think we could have 10 to 12 inches more rain this year than we had a year ago. So think about that. That's a big, big difference, right? Could be a soaker, as I mentioned. And then valley snow is a good bet. We don't get that many big snowstorms. That's always a bit of a gamble. But I think it'd be surprising if we don't at least have some frivolous stuff that would be 2 to 4 inches. And maybe, the odds are better than 50%, maybe 60% or better, that we get a decent snowstorm at some point. Now, for my winter season outlook to kick off in good style, we will need a wet, rainy November of at least 6 inches or maybe 8 inches coming up next month. And then if that happens, everything else could be falling in line. January looks active. December is the least confident call of my months. And right now it does look like not only February would be drier than normal, but then after that we get back to some wet weather in March to go into an active spring. So November, warmer than normal. Mainly because of overnight lows being warm, because it would be active with a westerly flow and rain. And again, you can read more of these and take your time with them on our KGW.com website. We have all this posted. We also have about a 5.5-minute video on our KGW YouTube channel. But since 2000, if you look at the winter seasons for snow, most of them that have produced 6 inches or more for Portland have been La Nina winters, most of them. So that's a good call. One of them was December of 2008. That was that whopper of a December that dumped 19 inches, and by Christmas Day, we still had 10 inches of it left for a white Christmas. That was technically a weak La Nina. This one's a moderate La Nina, and interestingly enough, I find heavier snows in weak La Ninas than moderate, and then the big whopper of the whoppers is the strong La Nina, and we're going to be in the moderate range this year. And then real quick to kind of wrap it up, what about Mount Hood? La Nina years since 2000 show the best chance for a good year. There were a couple years that had 68, 70% of snowpack, but most of these years had it closer to 100%, and some of them went all the way up to 145% of normal. Those types of winters have 200-inch bases at Timberline and Meadows, and also produce good years at Ski Bowl. But, you know, we're coming off several years in a row, as you look at kind of my conclusion graphic, which does show the best chance for snow being in January and February for Portland. But we're coming off several years in a row where the snowpack up on Mount Hood has been kind of 65, 68% of normal. So, you know, if you believe in what we're due, we're certainly due for 100% of normal snowpack year. It's been several seasons since we've seen that up there, and we'll see what happens. You know, last year we had Keely Chalmers has done stories on these warm Pacific blobs that set up where the Pacific water temperatures are really warm off of our coast and up into the Gulf of Alaska. We had that last year, and that really makes it more difficult to get low snow levels. That will not be there this winter, which will make it easier to get low snow levels. Is that Timberline's live camera we're looking at?
Yep.
Yeah, they had temperatures around freezing up there this morning. It was in the teens up there yesterday morning, but we'll see.
So, Rod, you said you called 2 to 4 inches a frivolous snowstorm in Portland or the surrounding area. What would be a bigger accumulation? Just anything over 4?
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you get 6 inches plus, you've got a bona fide all that snowstorm in Portland, 6, 7, 8 inches. My 2 to 4 that I said likely, that was meant, that could be maybe there's an inch, maybe there's a half an inch this weekend, and maybe there's an inch another week. Maybe we do get that one event that's 1 to 3 inches, which is basically what we had last March, but that was it. So I'm saying it's unlikely that we wouldn't have at least some of that. And then the chances of getting a snowstorm of 6, 7, 8 inches or greater is certainly tilted in that above 50% of happening category.
Should we throw in some live comments? I know we have comments from earlier this morning, but we have live comments we can share from viewers watching right now on Facebook. I say good morning to all of you, and that includes Melissa Schwartz, the first to chime in this morning with these words: excited for snow.
Yeah.
And she has that hand clapping emoji. The hand clapping emoji. And then Jill M. Sayre replies to Melissa saying, me too! Exclamation point.
Snow lover.
You mentioned that winter of '08, and really, I don't know if we had a huge winter of snow, but we had that Christmas time snowfall in 2008.
What year was?
Yeah,
what year
that
was the
winter,
11 inches or so?
That winter went on to produce 19 inches in December alone and 24 inches for the entire year. There were more snow events that winter in February. It was a pretty snowy winter.
Wait, go back. What year?
2008.
No.
What was the recent one?
Oh, what'd you say?
Like 3 years ago or
3 years ago? Hold on.
That's what I thought. I thought that was the big one.
Does he mean 2018?
Well, 2008, I will tell you, there was snow on Christmas. Our boys had just turned 1 in
2008
September.
was that big mama one, if you will.
Big Mama.
The big mama one.
2008, we had a Christmas Eve day type snowfall. My mom actually got stuck in San Francisco trying to fly in to see the boys who were just a year old for Christmas. But it was 3 years ago where we had all that snow in December, January.
Let's see, February 2019. We had basically 5 inches that fell on February 9th.
I remember that.
That was the last decent snowfall, February 2000.
That canceled by
we
Michelle
had the
Obama.
one where we got 11 inches. Remember?
Yeah.
Like one night.
Yeah. Yes, it was December. It was like a Wednesday in December, and I'm going to say it was 2017, Rod. Wednesday, December 19th.
You're schooling them
2017.
Look at you.
Drew's pretty good with these.
Yeah, he is.
Well, he really is.
I was sitting in a Mexican restaurant that evening watching the snowfall, which looked like feet at a time. It was like coming down like this. Yeah.
December 2017, we got 1 inch.
No, wait, the whole
1
month?
inch.
No.
In fact, the entire season,
No,
but we did that winter. Let's see here, February of 2018, we had about 8 inches of snow.
All right, this is the last time I'm going to have you look at something.
Yeah.
You go back one more year, December of 2016.
That absolutely, because I was moving up to the West Hills,
There
and
you
in
go.
2016 we had some snow
It was
that
the one
caused
where
some
Cassidy
trouble.
was in
Yes.
the Vista Ridge Tunnel.
Are you ready?
No,
Yes.
Wait.
The record book that I have in hand starts January of 2017.
Son
I
of
don't
a
have that
biscuit.
with me.
You're absolutely
was our
right,
last big
though,
storm.
Drew. 2016,
Okay.
we had a lot.
That
Because
was
I was getting furniture delivered. It's funny how you just key into
You
whatever
remember
was
it.
happening
Yep.
in your life. And I saw the Macy's truck go up the hill, and it could
Right.
not make it in. It turned around and went right
Oh,
back
wow.
down. I was like, my couch!
Do you remember
I have
if that
nothing to
was-
sit on.
Do you remember if that was forecasted or not? I'm being serious. Do you remember?
It was not forecasted
No,
as greatly
I
as we got
remember
it.
it
Well, that's why I don't remember it. I don't remember those events.
Selective memory.
It was one of those where I think you may have said 2 inches, and then when we got like 12, and you said, well, I told you we'd have 2.
Yeah,
We did have 2.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Yes.
You know, so the storm, and maybe this is the one you're talking about, but the storm that we had forecasted like 4 inches or so, we ended up with 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches.
That's the year.
Yeah, that one. And that bugged me, and I got to thinking about it, and you know, for some reason, and it's probably our fault as weather people, for some reason we've trained, or we've all gotten this impression that when it comes to snow forecasting, we should be able to give you an exact amount. And the bottom line is, in terms of meteorology, snow forecasting is no different than rain forecasting. How often during the year do we tell you, we're going to get 1/4 inch of rain? Turns out we only got 5 1/100ths. How often in any given year do we tell you, we're going to get 1/4 inch of rain? Wow, it rained 3/4 inch. Now, nobody's up in arms because that doesn't typically impact our lives that much. And obviously, when you miss, when you say 2 inches of snow and you get 6, that's a big deal. When you say 4 and you get 10, that's a big deal. But the reality is, in terms of the science of meteorology, there aren't that many even rain events during the year that we absolutely hit the rain projection on the button. And often, you could get just a little bit in Washington County, but get a ton in Clackamas, or flip it. But yet when it comes to snow, we all think we're magically going to get this exact number all over the place.
But it rains all
And
the
it
time,
doesn't
and
work
so I
that
don't think
way.
that the average person, I know for myself, I don't know.
We're not paying attention
Well, if
to
it
those
piled up too,
But-
you know, instead of going into drains, like where
Yes.
you can see the
No,
snow.
but you know, but
yeah.
my point is,
You're always wrong?
No. My point is, snow forecasting is no different than rain forecasting. We probably need to do better at throwing out big ranges, and some people laugh at that. But the majority of rain events we have, I guarantee you, parts of the metro counties, somebody gets 2/10 and someone else gets 6/10 of an inch.
Yeah.
Well, if you turn that into snow, that's an 8-inch snowstorm over here, but 2 inches over here. So
Deborah Sinclair, she got it January 10th, 2017. She
That was
says.
a snowfall that year, but if you go back to
She
December
got 12
of 16.
inches. You think it was 2016?
No, I think it was December of 16 and January of 17. It was like back-to-back events because school was canceled in record numbers that year. In terms of, we missed a bunch of days before Christmas, more than I ever recall, and then we missed a few more after Christmas. So I'm thinking December 16, January 17. I think there's a few viewers chiming in to say that's right. I just want to quickly defend you, Rod, for a moment.
But did you understand what I was saying?
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
I'm not trying to
Just
bow out
messing
of
with you.
anything. I'm just saying
We
that
know
our
you're not.
expectations are kind of foolish, but that's probably because we have set those expectations up, or we try to pinpoint something.
I love that you're so candid.
You know, there's a famous scene from Rocky IV where Rocky's at the top of the stairs and he says, yo, Adrian, I got to fight the Russian. And she says, you can't win, Rock. That's how I feel for you sometimes during winter forecast, because it does not matter what happens after you say what's going to happen. Some people are going to get close to what you predicted. Others will
look
not.
at it.
And people that don't get what you say are going to say you're terrible.
Well,
So Rod is Rocky in this scenario.
Yes, Rod is the Rock.
And the winter weather is the Russian.
Yes.
Bumper
who's Adrian?
cars. You know what? I'm going to say this about that because, Rod, you get out there and you make your forecast and you tell us what's coming. But every step of the way, you will change it up. You will amend it. It's not like, I feel like unless you really get surprised and then you say, I'm surprised I didn't hit it on target. But up until that time, you're always like changing. Things are moving. It's not that you're just changing it. The conditions change. I feel like you do a good job keeping us updated.
Well, there was one, and that's a good point, because a lot of times for the bigger snow events, we'll start throwing out numbers maybe even 5-6 days in advance. And then understand most of the time if we end up inflating or maybe we pull back, most of the time it's not that the storm we're looking fell apart, it's that the storm track may be shifted by 100 miles over a 6-day period. And if you think about it, well, gee, that's not much. I mean, surely that could happen. You're tracking a storm that's out in the Pacific 6 days off, and the storm track only changed 100 miles. From my chair, that's like, wow, modern meteorology did a pretty good job. But people remember maybe that number that was thrown out 5-6 days in advance, and they don't necessarily keep updated with what the latest numbers are. And you need to do that because things do change. We look at data sets, the average meteorologist looks at data sets, new ones, 4 times a week. Let me back up. 4 times a day is what I meant to say. 4 times a day in active weather. We'll look at brand new data sets coming in.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wonder, we've gotten a lot of people, and I love this, of people saying, yeah, bring it on. I'm so, excited about it. I wonder, even if we get a big snowstorm, is it going to be kind of anticlimactic? I mean, will it be anticlimactic because less people are commuting? There are fewer cars on the road, people are working from home, kids are already at school, there's no issues with bus routes or anything like that. So I wonder if people are more, apt to kind of think it's fun or be excited about it because you don't have to travel. And now we've gotten so good at telecommuting and all that kind of stuff that I wonder if it'll just be a more fun experience.
Moving forward, right?
So we need a little fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, and keep in mind, here, we're fascinated on snow because that's the big headline that's most fun to talk about. But ultimately, my winter outlook in the coming months will be judged, in my opinion, by whether or not it turns out to be a really rainy, soaky winter or not.
Okay.
That's my highest confidence call, and that's ultimately what this will be judged on. If it turns out to be a dry season, last year was pretty dry, then I'll look like a fool. If it turns out to be
and look at the fires,
really soaking starting off in November, then I'll be looking pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody online mentioned 2004.
Oh.
I remember that year too.
Really?
2004, 2008, because we were just wall to wall. I think one of those years we would come in, go on the air at 4, and then we would get off the air at about 1:30, and the night crew would come in and relieve us, and we'd just stagger off. It was just nonstop. Was 2004 or 2008 the one that shut down PDX? Do you remember that?
Oh boy.
I think it was 2008.
I should have brought all of my
Because I was here then. I was not at the other station. I was at the other station for the 04 snowfall.
I remember I dashed out of here that year.
Yeah.
I think it was that year because we had just been working nonstop and it was right near Christmas and I hadn't bought any presents yet. And I literally ran to Fred Meyer. I was just pulling stuff, whatever was
That was
left
definitely
over on the
08.
shelf.
I do remember that too now, the week of 08 where thinking the same thing, I was in a live van doing snow coverage at the TriMet stop in Beaverton, the big Beaverton Transit Center, and online trying to do some shopping because I knew I wasn't going to get to the store.
Yeah. So crazy.
Anyways, everyone has that memory. Virginia Carlson. We figured something out while you were gone last week, Nina. Early days of Sunrise Extra, we heard a lot from a woman named Ginny Carlson.
Yeah.
Ginny Carlson is back, but in the form of someone called Virginia Carlson.
Oh, she's going with the formality.
Yes, Virginia Carlson says today in 2004 she was pregnant and she was afraid I wouldn't make it to the hospital because she lives outside of town. So she remembers that 04 snowfall because of her pregnancy.
Yeah.
That is you. Yeah, you remember, certain moments. Jennifer Nyman on YouTube. Good morning. Thanks for watching. We were arguing, was it 2016? What is 2017? She says it was 2017. I got rerouted to SeaTac and had to white knuckle getting on a flight to PDX to come home. Yeah, you always remember those travel stories if you get stuck.
I'm really confident there was a series of events starting in December of 16 and continuing in January of 17. But Cassie, our producer, you were showing video earlier of kids on a school bus. It looked like they were stranded. It took forever to get home. Didn't you confirm that this was from December of 16? That video we were showing earlier. If we have it and we can pull it up again, just let me know
I remember this.
when this was taken.
Sliding down the hill. That is terrifying.
Yeah.
That's the worst when people already go about their business, so they leave in the morning and it's dry, and then at some point late that morning it starts snowing, and then the afternoon commute, people are trying to get home. It is a disaster.
Cassie just confirmed this was shot December 14th, 2016. So again, there are many snowfalls that we could probably pick from. This one just happens to be in December of 16.
That one, remember, it hit right at 3. It started flurrying, and we looked at. I remember I was here at work. We looked out the window. It was flurries, and then it just kept going and kept going. But people were still at work, and it was like, do you leave now, or do I, get out of work? And by the time 5 o'clock rolled around, it was gridlock.
Yep.
everywhere.
Yes, I left here at 1 o'clock. If it wasn't that day, one of those days that winter, left here at 1 and did not get home until about 7:30.
Oh, that's brutal. Zola Honey says, my wife worked at Walmart December 24th, 2016. We took the bus to Jansen Beach and we just slid our way home. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's so scary. Bend had its first snowfall I saw on Friday. Snowflakes coming down. They usually get snow before Halloween time, so
yeah,
it's coming, guys.
They got snow on the ground up in Spokane. They had like 3
I did
inches
see
or
that
so.
too.
Yeah.
Trish is going way back. Trish Anderson, December 1996. We had a massive ice storm.
Oh, I remember that.
Was worried it was going to cancel my wedding reception. Oh, that's wow. I take it did not.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was the ice and then there was the floods.
But hey, if you are, into, based on this forecast, skiing or snowboarding, Timberline, new passes go on sale today. If you had a previous pass last year, you've already been able to renew that. But new Timberline passes, there's a live look at Timberline right now, go on sale today. Mount Hood Meadows passes have already been on sale. So it's going to be a great snow year up on the mountain too, Rod.
We hope so, and we hope that it's also a good year for low snow levels at Ski Bowl and Government Camp, which would be big news too.
I really want to talk about all you put into making this winter outlook, because we said, you spend weeks on it. I want to say it's more like months. But you have about 1 minute, Rod. We'll wrap this up with the final minute. You're just talking about, the effort and the time that you put in to coming up with that winter outlook.
Well, I control the kitchen table at home for about 4 weeks, where all my binders are out, and I'm basically trying to put data sets together from different pieces of information going all the way back to 1950, and then I'm playing the odds. I'm saying, well, the percentages favor this with this setup of La Nina, El Nino, all of that, and then we move forward and see how it turns out. I'm a fine person. I'm just trying to do the best I can.
He's Rod Hill. He's the predictor of winter weather here in the Great Northwest.
The kitchen table has been cleared. It's returned to the family
They can eat again. They can eat again at the Hill household. We have the winter outlook. All right, we are out of time on a Monday. Tomorrow, Nina, Brenda, Rodney, we're talking about haunted places in Portland.
Ooh, I like that.
Because this is also Halloween week. We'll see you then for Sunrise Extra.